problem? There's a region service center in our area, and they say suicide is a big problem for us as teachers, right? Suicide. We kill kids with a suicide. We assume they know things and they don't know. And what we often assume is that they can even say these words when they're difficult. And I'm just picking in the middle. Some of you teach higher level, some of you teach lower. You know, what you choose will be based on your objectives. But I moved into a new position this year. Remember I said I was the director of language arts for a large urban district? Well, after our TEKS explosion that I explained to you earlier, I decided this year to make a change. So now I'm working full-time as a literacy integration specialist in Spring Branch ISD with math and science teachers. All right? So I was observing, I didn't know what I was supposed to do the first week. It's a new position. I'm like, what does one do in this position? I don't know what that means with literacy integration. Sometimes we work on literacy integration even in language arts classrooms, right? But I didn't quite so I was walking around a chemistry lab, right? Chemistry lab, and the kids are doing this wonderful lab experiment with properties and trying to decide if it had conductivity, if it was malleable. And there were some kids around the table, and they get to the malleable part, and the girl looks at it, and she said, what's this ma-ba-ba-ba? She says, now we're going to see if it's ma-ba-ba-ba. And I was intrigued. I got a little closer because I said, well, my ears must be flapping or something because I didn't quite hear her. She said, ma-ba-ba-ba again. So I said, oh, you mean malleable? She said, whatever. All right, whatever. So it's one of these things that we have to help our kids say the words. Well, one thing that you can do, and do not be shy for a moment, stand up. All right, now just for a moment, and I have to tell you, this came out of a high school class. So don't say that's so elementary. All right, came out of a high school class because I was teaching at Louisville High School, home of the Fighting Farmers. And I'm not lying. Go Louisville. All right, and I was working with seniors that they were having spelling issues, like exaggerate. They would spell it with one G. Right, can you believe that? One G. I said, guys, look, if you divide these words into syllables, then you'll be able to spell them better, all right? Because you'll hear that second G. And so they went, paleontologist, one syllable. I was like, oh no, we have troubles. I said, look, stop that. Stop this. It's not working. I said, get some bigger muscles involved. So then they became like seals at SeaWorld. Like, and I said, get up. Stand up. And so they did. Josh, the big linebacker on the Fighting Farmer football team, when he stood up, the desk came with him. Across the floor. So they finally stood up and I said, we're going to squat these words. You stand up for each syllable, you squat down halfway. All right? Now that seems silly, but I'm telling you, the research supports that our kids need to move and feel those different syllable divisions. So let's just do that with chrysalis because it'll be good fun. All right? Ready? Halfway down, then back up. Ready? Chrysalis. Oh, now you must go down. See, I never syllables. All right? So then we're going along here, and the kids are like, oh no, we have to stand up. Well, let's just say, well, I've got to find another. Oh, bacteria. Oh, yes, that'll be a good one. Ready? Bacteria. You will not know that. Galaxy! All right, but then what happens there is the kids are actually squatting, and that boy went out in the hallway, and you know how kids are, they're like, he said, Ms. Morris has lost it. He said, what are we doing today? He said, linebacker. Now, here's the thing though, the other thing is we want to trick them. You cannot tell kids, and you know this, guys, I want you to say these words numerous times. It's like that automaticity strategy, all right? Just say it over and over again, they're not going to do it. So I started tricking them, and watch how we did that. Look, I want you to say these words like you're a football player. And by the way, this goes right along with Robert Marzano's 6 steps, right? That you need to have the kids saying the words, explaining it to them. So let's just do that. Say these words, the first 5 like a football player. Ready? Disease! Show! Okay, very good. Now, say the next 5 like you have a British accent. British accent, ready? Saliva.
Wiggling. Stagnant. Galaxy. Swarm.
Now watch what I'm going to do, because you're like, look, we got Beowulf to cover. I did not have time to squat. These words. But watch. If we do the next 5, I want you to say these words like you're anxious. You're anxious. Now remember? No, I'm just doing this thing in the classroom. What does anxious mean? Okay. All right. if you look in the dictionary, say one who is anxious or something along those lines. All right. So let's say the next few, let's start with bacteria, like you're anxious. Bacteria. Vigilant. Tired. Okay, see, in that moment, and we go through the, it's called moody words. All right, it's called moody words. It is in vocabulary, but the whole idea there is then you're introducing that vocabulary at the same time you're learning to say the others. So it truly works. So turn to your neighbor and say, "You're the best squatter I've seen today."